What's going on, EPW Nation? It's your boys from the Everything College Basketball Podcast, Josh and Peyton, here to remind you all that college basketball season is right around the corner. Yes, we finally know it's right around the corner, and Peyton, there's only one place people should go for all the college basketball excitement.
Well, Josh, the only place to find all college basketball hoops all the time is Everything College Basketball. Everything College Basketball can be listened to on several podcast hosting sites like Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts. And we can also be found on our Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/Everything College Basketball.
Yes, make sure you are joining the group with a couple other 100 people and growing by the day as we march into year number 3 of the Everything College Basketball networking system. Now, let's get back to Conrad and Everything Pro Wrestling.
Once again, at 6:08 p.m., you already know what it is, and you already know where you have reached the number one collaborative professional wrestling podcast anywhere in the world. My good friend and brother to my left, that's Conrad Cushman. Everything Pro Wrestling is shown up in the building. You're talking right now to the big homie, Sean Hubbard. Hubbard Wrestling Weekly is shown up in the building. And we are fired up for another big-time episode. We're talking WWE World Championship. We're talking Tony Khan. We're talking AEW. We're talking, oh, my gosh, so much stuff going on, man. I mean, between Night of Champions and between All In and between Double or Nothing and between Tony Khan and between CM Punk, I mean, and all the controversy going on, real-life stuff, kayfabe stuff, we don't know what is what. But one thing we do know is that we're going to talk about it right now, but I'm forgetting. What's my line? What do I usually say? Oh yeah, that's right. Conrad, drop that thing.
What's good? What's good? What's good? Episode 37, Clash of the Podcast. We bring it live every Monday at 6:05 Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you are locked in. Had lots of early comments dropped. We can go through some of these. Joel in the house, he said, yo, it's Monday, and you know what that means. I like it. I like it. B-Boy Skyline said, welcome to the podcast episode about Blood Money 9. Come on now. Come on now.
Ooh.
Quill's in the house. He said, we're going to say, heck yeah, here we go again. It's Monday evening, and it's the best part of my Monday time for another dope episode of Clash of the Podcast. What up, Conrad, Sean? Chat, let's talk wrestling. By the way, Sean, happy belated, bro. May you be blessed and see many more birthdays in the years to come, homie, no doubt. Hunt it. I wish you a happy birthday as well in your Instagram DM. Check it out.
I will be sure to do that. Thank you, sir. That means a lot, for real. Thank you.
Yes. We had the big Mother's Day, too, man.
Yeah, crazy. A lot going on between, my mom, son's mom. Crazy, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the life we're living now, man. We ain't no spring chickens no more. But I'll tell you what, we still look good. I was just checking out my hairline. I am, between my hairline and your beard, we're still doing it, bro. We're still doing it.
Yeah.
I just gave you a compliment. Smile, damn it.
Well, you brought up hairlines. How am I supposed to? That was like a reminder.
My hairline and your beard, we're still doing it, man. Come on.
For the record, for those who don't know, I am bald, but bald is beautiful. So make sure you show some love.
Oh my God! You see, that's how you're not really a sensitive guy. You're sensitive with that one. I actually gave you a compliment, and you managed to pull it into a diss.
I'm proud. I'm proud of the baldness. You said with my hairline though, and I was just like, oh, the sadness. I remember.
I said it in one breath. I said between my hairline and your beard, we're killing it right now. We're doing it.
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy about my beard that you may not know? If I don't cut it down this low, you can start to see the grays. I got the CM Punk kind of grays that were like, you know how his beard was? Yeah, it's starting to hit me right on the sides there.
I don't know. They say being in your 30s is like being in your 20s again, but tell that to my niece.
Yeah, I feel like certain days I feel 20s, and then other days I feel 40s.
One day we're going to blink and we're going to be, well, I'm 37. One day I'm going to blink and I'm going to be 47. It's going to be crazy.
That's a fact. Ray Thompson said, just going to say, last week, great week of wrestling. Good Raw, good Dynamite, good SmackDown. All three shows had good openers and good main events.
Okay,
All
Raw.
right.
Okay, Raw, good Dynamite, okay, SmackDown. Shout out to Ray. Appreciate you, but I vehemently disagree.
You know what? I thought SmackDown, I did like the triple threats on SmackDown a little bit more than what we got from the Raw.
I hear you. I'm just saying, don't be fooled. Maybe not you, maybe not even Ray, but don't be fooled by an appearance by Roman Reigns. Just a good segment by the Bloodline does not a good 2-hour show make.
Joel said, I hope Sean had a wonderful birthday too. That's my guy.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Matt Lopez saying good evening.
M. Leezy for Sheezy.
Casey Briggs in the house. Literally the worst pillar. I revoke his status and slide Britt Baker in there. She's really an actual pillar. I wonder who you could be talking about. I just told Sean before we started this who he's talking about, though. There was a lot of controversy with him this week. I don't know if we're going to have time to get into any of that, but there was a lot dealing with him. McKinney said, yo, I'm here to talk wrestling and let you know when life gives you lemons, it's tequila time. Let's go.
Big shout out to McKinney. He be dropping some gems in the DMs, pro wrestling, comedy. Appreciate that, sir.
For real. Matt Lopez, I wouldn't mind seeing AJ win the world championship. We will get to that.
Not mind AJC being world champ. I agree, M. Leezy. AJ getting another run. Only thing that would be better is if Edge was getting another run, which I am surprised that I was wrong about my prediction.
We'll get into that because I actually will agree with both of you on that with AJ, and I think there's a way you can make it work. Guy Will Gamble, what's good? Conrad, Sean, Chad. Don didn't screw Kenny. Kenny screwed Kenny. Ooh.
GWG, welcome, my guy.
Look at this. XG Dub in the house. What's good? What's good?
In the building.
Let's see here. Yes, sir. It's that Dangerous Alliance type beat.
I'm Steve Austin, Rick Rude. Everybody. Art Anderson, Zabisco.
Right? Sean, don't go there about the hairline, young man.
I was being nice. It was a double compliment. I complimented myself. Maybe I should have said the nice thing about your beard first and then came back to my hairline. Okay. That's my fault.
No, we won't. No blame. No. Derek in the house saying, yo, what's good?
Derek, my guy, Derek.
Team Graybeard, me and Joel. Deanna says, hey, boys. What's good, Deanna?
I appreciate the love you show on both shows, on Conrad's and Derek's show on Wednesdays and on our show here. I really appreciate that.
She's always in the chat. Always appreciate Deanna. Matt Lopez said good Impact, too. Yeah, Impact was really good this week. I enjoyed it.
Impact has improved.
Doug said, hey, yo, a little late tonight. Doug, never late, bro. Never late. Never late. Controversy with who? There's been some controversy with Jungle Boy a little bit this week.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really have much to say because I don't have anything really nice to say about it, but I'll leave it where it is. And you know what? The thing that most people, me and Derek talked about a little bit, the thing, Sean, most people in here would have thought that I would be mad about was not the thing that I thought was the worst comment he said.
Well, we got to talk about it, man.
We do. It was the Billy Gunn thing for me. That's what upset me.
That's our job. We're gonna hit the hard-hitting issues.
Let's see here.
Everything's not all rainbows and world championships, you
know. Some people think that. I thought there was controversy with Riddle. Oh, we ain't talking about that Matt Riddle. I ain't touching that. Stop. Word of advice for everybody. Stop sending people nudes. Stop. Just stop sending people that stuff.
Okay, confession time. All right? We're all family here. I have sent one person in my life, and it wasn't a full nude, okay? I sent, when me and my girl were just like in the very embryonic stages of our relationship, I sent her a partial nude. I'm going to leave it up to your imagination what a partial nude is. But it was enough where if she was a scumbag, which she's not, thank God my baby's a good person, it would have gotten me in some trouble. But it all worked out. So I agree with you, bro. You can't send, it's 2023. Things can go viral just like, by the way, we should be going viral, but that's a different story for a different day. Things can go viral just like that. You got to be so careful.
I'm never sending it. I have never sent it, and I will not send it.
I hear you.
Don't ask. If you ain't in the flesh in front of me, you ain't getting it.
No, that's the right way to think. Look, when I took that risk, like about 7 years ago, like that, if my girl wasn't the good person that she was, I mean, like, it would have been bad for me too. Anybody who sent a nude or almost a nude or anything like that is taking a major risk with your life, bro. And I'm not even being dramatic when I say that.
Did AJ lose to Roman during his most recent run? I don't believe so. Deanna said, I got news. Half of what you read is fake. Sean, you out here pressing pickle? Come on now.
Nah. Like I said, I'm going to leave it up to the imagination what a partial nude is. It was more than what I would put on regular social media, but it was less than like...
It ain't on his Instagram, I'll tell you that.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Amen.
He ain't putting it on there. Hubbard knees weak, palms were sweaty after he had sent. I won't. Matt Lopez said, I won't send. Never send it. Never send it.
Gamble, that was hilarious, by the way. But you know something? I don't judge. Like, for me, it's not my cup of tea to send nudes. Let's touch on this for about 30 seconds. It's not my thing to send nudes. You know what I'm saying? Like, have females sent nudes to me in my dating life? Yes. I'm a person that would never take advantage of a female. So all of that was looked at and immediately deleted. I think the key is that you have to trust who you're sending it to. But the problem, Conrad, and this is a little bit of real life conversation for us and for all of our people in here. People get mad, right? And when it's all good when everybody's cool and it's all flirty and everything's all easy peasy, 1, 2, 3 But when people get angry, you never know what they might do.
So they say and do wild stuff.
Yeah, so
trust me. I'm also very rude, and I'll never let people forget some of the stuff they've said. And I'm like, oh, remember when you said this about me?
Yeah.
I was angry when I said it. Yep, and you ain't gonna get the chance to be angry again. Beat it.
You know my grandmother, God rest her soul, used to say, you can't unring a bell.
That is a fact. Once it happens, it happens. Ed, what is up, man?
Welcome, Ed.
Ed Fries in the chat was good.
Welcome, Ed.
Ain't nothing wrong with sending y'all better stop saying pickle. Ain't nothing wrong with sending a pickle pic. You just have to be mindful of who you're sending it to. People suck. True. Welcome to Clash of the Podcast After Dark.
I'm keeping it PG. Okay, maybe PG-13, okay? What, because I said the word nude?
I'm more offended by this pickle talk in here. Hubs, I don't want to imagine my brain is messed up enough.
Oh, cut it out, Deanna. No,
Conrad gonna keep them receipts. No, I just let people know though about themselves. I don't like when people pull the stunt. You know what I mean? Like, nah, don't do that in here, especially in public to try to embarrass someone. I don't like when people do that to people. Yeah. Let's get into some of this though. I don't have a graphic for Jungle Boy, but should we just start with that since that was mentioned too?
Just do the lead in, bro. We'll talk about it.
Let's start with AJ and the homies.
Sure.
We have found out the finals for Night of the Champions that's going to be happening on May 27th, 1 p.m. That's a Saturday for you. Doing this a little before the big AEW show, which I've heard is having a hard time selling tickets in Vegas. Don't know what's going on out there. But we know the finals. Sean, you made a prediction about Edge. It did not come true. What? Was it the promo that got you?
It did. It was the promo that got me, and it was also the nostalgic energy that kind of overtook me. I really felt like this would be a storybook ending. I know that Toronto's coming up in a couple of months, and it made sense to me. I was just putting two and two together, similar to what I talked about Don Callis, which we'll get into later. But unfortunately, logic and common sense doesn't always work out. I love AJ and I love Seth, you know that. But I just felt like it would be a storybook ending for Edge. But I guess that's not the way the story's going to end.
I will always tell you this, Sean. If I ever had to put you in a creative room and the person that you would be, you are my what if guy. Sean is the guy who everyone in the room is going to think, okay, well, if we do this, what makes the most sense? Obviously, it's this.
Yeah.
But then Sean's the one guy who go, you know what? What if instead we do this? Shockaroo. Boom.
The box is here. I'm somewhere over here. That's for sure.
Yeah. But sometimes you need that moment. That's how you get Survivor Series deadly games. They fooled me. They got me that night. Once it happened, I was like, oh, it makes sense. The whole tournament was rigged. It was rigged.
And not to go too deep into Survivor Series 98, the coolest part about that whole thing, that's when WWE used to get things right. That's when things were good ideas and they actually went through with it. The Rock just turned babyface. He had just turned babyface and they turned him back. That was amazing storytelling. Unfortunately, that's a WWE from a million years ago.
Yeah, when they had, I feel like now it's so big that you don't have time to focus on the minute stories to sell tickets.
Yeah.
They have so many other revenues out there.
I think that's a sound assessment on your part. I agree with that.
I can't read some of these comments, y'all.
All right, look, I'm going to come to your birthday party, bro. No, go back to that comment. I'm going to come to your birthday party, bro. It's going to be fun, all right? I'm not going to use that word. That word just annoys me. My junk is for one person and one person only, and she enjoys my junk, and I share it with no one else. So I'm going to come to your birthday party, bro, and we're going to have a good time. Cut it out. Big shout out to Joel's birthday party.
I appreciate you setting standards, though, Joel. I hope no one does that in anyone's drink at this party.
From what I understand, bro, I know you're joking, Joel. Cut it out. From what I understand, it's going to be a rowdy crowd. You better tell no pickle stuff to all your other friends, bro, because you never know. It might be a wild night.
Guy Will Gamble agrees. That Edge promo got me, too. Deanna said, give Edge the belt.
How can it not get you? That promo was epic. Yes, Deanna, I agree. Guy Will Gamble, I agree.
Edge is very good at those solo promos. I thought during the pandemic, he was one of the best things about a good promo on Raw. Him just sitting sometimes with the chair. They overdid it towards the end, but when Edge is on, and he is money. You can't really stop that.
That's a fact.
Doug said that triple threat from Friday. I loved the triple threat with Edge, Mysterio, and Ray. It worked because it was a little hokey, but it was fine. And I mean triple threat hokey, where they're doing like, I'm going to launch you into this guy, into this move, and this is what we're going to do. It worked, though, for all of them, and they found ways to incorporate their moves within it. I really liked that match.
It was a great match. It's like, I'm surprised when I see good stuff on WWE television now. It's like, oh.
You know who gets the award for definitely like best tryhard who didn't win, but they had a great performance? Bobby Lashley. The brother was bleeding in his first match, came back out and bled again. Yeah. Lashley is a monster who I think doesn't get enough credit.
Underutilized and underappreciated.
That's a fact. People are saying the Edge promo, some of the best moments came from What Ifs. That is true. Styles versus Rollins done properly will be yet another banger of a match, especially for the title. It makes sense once again. I was tight when I came to school on Monday and found out The Rock was heel, even though he won. Bro, who you telling? Dude, you know who I felt bad for? That was sympathy for Mankind. I was like, man, he did everything that old man wanted him to do, and they just did him filthy. Ray Thompson says Seth and AJ will be a banger of a match. Match of the night for sure. They had an underrated classic a few years ago on Money in the Bank. That was a good one. Like Quills had said before too. BJ said, "Hey, hi, hello. Hope you are all having a good Monday. I came in while Sean's junk was being discussed. This episode must be a wild one so far." We were just talking about
you can't come in late. You get all confused.
We might have to put a disclaimer on this one now. We kept it clean.
We're having fun. We're having fun.
The promo would have set up the last rodeo like Mickey James had an impact. Let Edge defend until that match in Canada for his retirement. Could have did that. Blood on WWE TV. OMG, so extreme. John Moxley, hold my beer. Appreciate it. So, looking at it, Sean, now you and Deanna and a bunch of people in the chat were making a good point about, we all have said this is Seth's title to win. And that's the logical thing. But I'm going to step into your realm for a second because I like doing this too sometimes. What if AJ Styles wins? Why would you do it? Look at how the rosters are distributed right now. Not counting the free agents, I don't know what any of that is. That's garbage, is what that is, truthfully. But they have way too many factions on Raw. And lack of factions on Raw versus SmackDown. You got Damage Control. They're probably going to be gone soon. The Bloodline. You got so many other things happening. I don't know.
Well, first of all, the club sucks. Okay?
I know, but you gotta have something for these guys to do. Listen, Sean, we talked about it. They've been fooled. Like, there's no sympathy for me at this point. If they start crying about why are they doing this to us, I don't care, bro. You keep going back there. You keep falling for it. There's no hope. But AJ winning could really help. He goes over to Raw, then he brings the club with him. And that is it. That is a tag team and another woman added to the roster. It has potential. It gets him away from SmackDown. You could do some things with this, I feel.
100%. I mean, I think AJ would obviously come over to Raw. I predicted that from the start. I think that there's no worry about the title ending up on SmackDown. I think whoever wins, Seth is going to stay on Raw or AJ will come over. I don't like the club, but I understand you have to keep them engaged. He can kind of be like the enforcers for AJ if he wins the title. But they're going to have to really improve their character development because AJ is carrying those guys, and it's almost like when they come out, the crowd reactions in WWE are bad. But
abysmal.
Yeah, but when it comes to the club minus AJ, it's like crickets, bro. Like, nobody cares about those guys. So,
I don't like that they changed Mia Yim. Why don't WWE understand that when you change people's stuff, you're blowing it? Like, you're really making a big mistake.
Facts.
So, yeah, I just don't understand. I don't understand what we're going to do here with all of this.
I don't understand either, and I think right now that we're in a bad spot because AJ is going to be world champion possibly, and I don't want him to be brought down by the corniness of the club.
And what you said, too, with Roman Reigns. AJ's not someone he beat. If AJ wins, it's not a consolation prize, as it is if it's someone who I couldn't get the job done against Roman, which Seth is in, but he's not as well. I don't know. If you're booking this, Sean, is your decision AJ like 100%? Like, you're like, yo, we're going with AJ?
No. We're talking about the possibilities of AJ winning. I still say Seth is going to win. I'm saying Seth's going to win ever since I saw that Edge lost. Seth is going to win the title. I think he should win the title. I think, contrary to what my broadcast colleague and my good friend Conrad thinks, I think that Seth has never been more entertaining than he is right at this very moment. I think that that the sing-along stuff is as good. Listen, I'm going to say something that's going to blow your freaking mind, man. You ready? Here it comes. Seth Rollins' sing-along is as good. It's only one, though. His sing-along is just one aspect. He has one sing-along thing, and that's his music. The Rock had 1 million of them. So I'm not comparing how many The Rock had compared to how many Seth Rollins has. But if you go one for one, Seth Rollins' sing-along rivals anything The Rock has ever done, anything Stone Cold has ever done. It rivals the woos. It rivals the whats. It rivals the if you smells. Seth Rollins is over like Rover. Over like Rover. So.
Okay. I
know you disagree. I know you disagree, and that's okay. I don't. The only thing that I have an issue with you, I don't understand how and why you disagree. Because the proof, Seth Rollins. I'm gonna say this one more thing, and I'm gonna let you have the whole floor, bro. Seth Rollins is probably the only over thing on Raw right now, other than maybe Cody Rhodes.
For me, it's the layers of how Seth got there. And even to this day, someone in the chat, why did Seth Rollins turn babyface?
Seth Rollins turned babyface. He never actually turned babyface. He just evolved into being babyface. You talking about this time around? There was never an action. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think there was ever an action that made Seth Rollins turn babyface. I hate to do another Rock analogy. The Rock didn't turn babyface because he did something. The Rock told Shane McMahon that, to shut up his Rudy Poo candy ass, right? But before that, everybody was still singing along with The Rock. It was organic. Now, in a day where WWE, Conrad, does not go with organic things and they ruin it, aka Jey Uso,
I'm going to say Seth Rollins as well.
But they have rolled with Seth Rollins. That's the difference. They put the kibosh on Jey Uso, and they embrace Seth Rollins. What do you mean, just like Seth Rollins?
I think Seth Rollins is not in the position that he could be in.
They
give him something while slapping him at the same time.
He's about to be world champion, Conrad. He's literally about to be the champion of Monday Night Raw.
But Sean, I think that when you have more than one championship, and Roman is still walking around like, I got him. I'm saying this. Roman is putting down the other belt with Paul Heyman. I'm like, what are they doing right now?
That's stupid. That's stupid. Well, I agree. That's stupid.
But you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
In my mind, Conrad watching is like, this belt is lesser then. Is this belt going to main event WrestleMania next year? Is this like, are you going to try to convince me that it could?
See, I wouldn't categorize what you're saying as wrong. I would categorize what you're saying as unfair. Let me explain. Very good conversation. I didn't know we were going to go this route this week. Nobody's beating Roman Reigns until WrestleMania 40. Okay? Let's just throw that out there. Nobody's beating Roman Reigns until WrestleMania 40. So you can't pigeonhole. I know you're not doing it on purpose, but you're indirectly pigeonholing Seth Rollins because he hasn't beaten Roman Reigns. Nobody's going to beat Roman Reigns. So
he's technically the one who never lost to him. What I'm saying is
even better. That helps my point.
I'm talking about, though, these interviews in BT Sports. Seth looks so depressed. They're like, what's up, man? And he's just like, yeah, I really want to get in that main event. I think I'm the best performer they've got. He's full-time. He performs every week. He has amazing matches. I've never once said that he hasn't. The issue is Seth Rollins is being treated in that CM Punk and Macho Man role of, no, you're great. I swear you're great. You're really, really good. If you work really hard, you'll get there. This dude's not here any of the time. Give it to me now. I'm here.
That's
and it was like
the victim of circumstance, Conrad.
I know, it's just lame. It's
lame.
I
can't roll with you on this one. As much as I hate WWE in 2023, Seth Rollins is one of the only things WWE has gotten right. Chat, back me up or tell me I'm wrong. Seth Rollins is one of the very few things that WWE hasn't dropped the ball on, bro. Sing along with Seth Rollins is the best moment of every Monday Night Raw. Chat, tell me I'm right or tell me I'm wrong. Seth Rollins sing-along is the best part of Raw every week.
Let me see to the hold on, I'm going to what the chat saying is. I'm going to shout out to the 2 Carl Anderson fans in the wrestling community. I don't know who those are. Sean said it back in episode 25. WWE are career killers, and there are many examples to back up that statement. Sethy Man Savage, someone said. I agree with Hub. This is the best version of Seth Rollins.
He's amazing. He's amazing right now. Even, let me tell you something, even to take it a step further, bro. You notice how I'm very big on idiosyncrasies and minute details. Seth Rollins embracing the fact that he's still technically never changed from being a heel, but he's embracing the face energy he's getting. So instead of giving the fans traditional high five, he does the little finger wave thing when he goes down the aisle backhanded. I freaking love. Okay, I'm gonna put no. We can't go on with the show. This is where, and I don't think I've ever done this in the 37 episodes that we've done this show, bro. I'm stopping the show. And I am stopping it on a dime, and I need an answer before we move on to anything else. You need to explain in as much detail as you can your issue with Seth Rollins.
The issue is how he is booked. And I'm a big person on how did you get from here to there? So when I talk about, for example, Bret the Hitman Hart, Bret the Hitman Hart was in the Hart Foundation. Then he started doing singles matches. He got a few wins. He got a title shot against Mr. Perfect. He beat Mr. Perfect. And he said, Anvil, see ya, so long. You can tag with my brother. And Bret moved on to be the mid-card champion. Bret had a couple matches. Bret finally loses the Intercontinental Championship to the British Bulldog. A couple weeks later, he's beating Ric Flair. He's the main event guy. He got there. Cool. Now, Seth Rollins. He was in the Shield. He joined up with Triple H and them. They turned on him. He was the baby face. Cool. I'm all with this until he becomes the Universal Champion. Then they go with this, he's the Messiah gimmick. I don't know why we needed to add a gimmick to him. I think that was a Vince call, whatever.
I didn't like that for the record. Go ahead.
Right. So you do that. You get rid of all of his people. Then they do the thing with Rey Mysterio's eye. Okay, you took out someone's eye. And then I don't know how we got here. That's what I'm saying. Like, logically in my brain, I'm like, you guys just started changing stuff. And you were like, who cares? That's what they did. They said, who cares? And I care. Mm-hmm. So now I'm like, what are you doing with this guy? And he's just dancing around. I'm like, why is he doing this? What is it? Everybody's just like, it's the drip. And I'm like, that's not good enough for me. Tell me why he's doing this. Say my wife's doing this and I wanted to do this. Give me some type of explanation that's going to make sense. Not just, how did we get here? How did this happen? Like, imagine if you stopped watching WWE 2 or 3 years ago and I'm like, oh yeah, this is Seth Rollins now. How did this happen? I couldn't explain it to you. I could not tell someone how this happened.
I've never recalled you having such an unfair perspective.
This is not unfair. This is not unfair. I watched this.
You know that I respect you eminently. You know that. I cannot wrap my head around what you're saying. Yes, are we actually going to sit up here and act like music doesn't play a part in people getting super? Fandango had 2 years as a major fan. I don't want to take it too far. Fandango had about 6 months being on top of his game because of the music alone.
Fandango would have gotten more stuff if he never got injured right before that Intercontinental title match. I truly believe that.
All right, so you're helping make my point. I mean, at the end of the day, come on, man. The Ultimate Warrior made a whole career off his music.
But I understood what Fandango was. The dancing, the boom. They came in with the Vince McMahon vignettes. What? I don't know what is this Seth Rollins? I don't get the gimmick, Sean. You get what I'm saying? It's not a smooth transition. Someone tell me I'm lying that this was some smooth transition. Like, man, great creative storytelling, great writing here. This is horrible. People are making the best out of a horrible circumstance for the company.
For people seeing me, you can see my face. For people listening on audio, my face is scrunched up in a very confused way. You don't think Seth Rollins' current persona is natural?
It's over. I'm not saying
no, that's not where I'm going with it. Natural. Organic. This is one of the, while you think you can answer, this is one of the only organic things that WWE didn't screw up.
This is weird. Can I say it's weird?
Okay.
Because it is organic now. But what I'm saying is I don't like how we got here, so I'm kind of like this to it. I'm like, no, I'm not accepting this because how did we get here? You've insulted me, and this gimmick's insulting to me. And I think you don't give this guy enough for what he does for your company. He deserves more.
He's about to be okay. I got to take you on this whole ride so you understand.
He's about to be not Roman.
He's about to be okay. He's
open up WrestleMania. Thanks, pal.
All right. See, this is what I hate to be a WWE apologist, but in this case, this is the one thing they haven't screwed up. Number one, Seth Rollins still has in his back pocket that he's the only one to beat Roman Reigns during his current run. That's number one. Number two, in a world where nobody can beat Roman Reigns if their life depended on it, where they had to literally make up another title, which we agreed with. No, I don't know if we agreed. Did we agree that was a good decision? You did not.
I don't
okay.
like it.
Some people do, some people don't. I thought it was a good idea because you should have a title defense every pay-per-view. That's my stance on it. They're about to give him that world title and make him a world champion. Yes, it's the non-Roman title. There's nobody in the industry that can touch Roman Reigns in the WWE that can touch Roman Reigns right now. Are you okay? Here's what we can say, and then we'll move on to the next subject. Are you saying that Seth Rollins should be the guy to beat Roman Reigns?
I think he's one of the people who could.
Okay.
I think he's someone who needs to be considered. It's not just, it's got to be Cody, because at this point with Cody, I'm kind of like, we'll see.
Well, I told you that Cody thing was going to dry out real fast, but that's a different story for a different day.
Yeah, they should have when they had the chance.
Good conversation, though.
No, the chat is going pretty crazy because BJ said something that people try to say, but I disagree with this too, though. They gave him the Messiah years ago to lower him on the card because he had nowhere to go. So he wasn't still outperforming everyone then?
He certainly was. Yeah.
You see, Sean, please tell me you get a smidgen of what I'm trying to say with this, though.
I do.
I'm like, he was always good, so why did you do this? I don't get it.
But you know what? He did get a little stale with the whole Kingslayer crap. He was kind of getting a little annoying.
Yeah, he could have went heel, though. I think another thing I don't like is that people go like this now. They're up, down, up, down. Back in our day, it was, you're here. You stay here.
Right.
You get booted out if you really screw up, but for the most part, no, you stay there.
That comment ML just made, by the way, just to add a little bit of levity, along with the a little bit of levity and fun. He was talking about how WWE could have shut down the music. Knowing WWE and how they do things, I'm surprised they didn't. Oh, they're singing along with Seth Rollins. Let's change his music. That's how stupid WWE is. So finally, they actually got one right.
Right? He's the best thing on Raw, but he has no direction until this belt came up. He was lost on the card, having great matches, but not going anywhere. And that's because of how they booked Roman, too. There's nothing wrong with that. And I understand why people want the belt, but my point is, I like one world champion. That's me. I guess this is like, how would you do a draft? How do you want it set up? I like one world champion. There's no two best. Don't give me that conference garbage, AFC, NFC for football, for example. No. There's one world champion. There is one winner at the end of the NBA Finals.
Okay, let me start by saying I agree. But the reason why I would conform to the idea of a second world champion is because are you saying that Roman Reigns' 1,000-day thing would never happen under your watch?
I don't know if it would have happened under my watch.
Okay.
I think it would have gotten crazy once they started letting him keep the belt that long, but maybe this was part of I think it's a happenstance that he kept it this long, and they were like, you know what, let's roll with it. It became like the streak. You didn't know you had until Taker counted the one time after he beat, I think, Flair. And he did like 10.
And to piggyback off your point, I definitely think Cody was supposed to win the title at 39 all the way up until maybe 2 weeks before the show.
Yeah, and then someone just said, nah.
Yeah, maybe even later. Maybe that day they changed their mind.
You never know. Six said, what's Seth got to be sad about? He's been champion on multiple occasions, one of the best wrestlers in the world. And he goes through, he's married, he's got a kid by one of the most beautiful top ladies in the business. What's he got to be mad about? I think in wrestling, bro, these guys live for goals. If you're not chasing something, what are you doing? So I think that's just it's like a bodybuilder mindset. Does that make sense? Like, you're always looking for the next high, or what do I want to do? And he probably wants to main event WrestleMania like Punk did. That's what Punk was chasing. He wanted that next high. He said, I want to main event WrestleMania so that I could put pressure on myself to do something great. And if you never get it, you get upset. Does Seth Rollins ever close out a WrestleMania? Is it still possible for him?
I think Seth Rollins will close out night 1 of WrestleMania.
Is that that's another thing. Is that the real main event to you, though?
No, it's not. It's not. I mean, when the Usos talk about, and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens talk about main eventing WrestleMania, it's kind of like tongue in cheek. It's not. Night 2 last match is the best. Is the main event. That's hard though, because it's like I see where you're going. It's like, so he'll never reach. Oh, that's tough. Yeah.
Remember Robert Roode at his height in NXT? Let me send some get well wishes to Robert Roode as well. I heard he is dealing with another neck surgery he had coming up by I think Dr. Andrews, his group down there. So wishing him the best in his recovery, but his music carried him a long way until Vince got a hold of him. I don't know how you messed that up either.
Prayers up for Robert Roode, man.
Yeah, the change between Rollins and Messiah wasn't even a smooth transition. They just stripped the gimmick and said, I don't know, maybe I'll dress and act erratically, and then it worked. I guess.
Happy accident, maybe.
Right? Facts, what is Seth Rollins? It's not enough to focus on the detail of character like 98% of the wrestler. Nakamura's theme sing-along, yeah, Nakamura was really over too. That's the other thing where I'm like, how did you blow that? Like, how?
Oh, we know. I know how they blew it. They blew it at WrestleMania 34 when they turned him heel.
I think they blew it with Jinder. He should have beat Jinder Mahal easily. Conrad, how is this different from D. Bryan? Because Bryan Danielson was always looked at as a better wrestler by, I think, the majority of wrestling fans. WWE likes to play this game, and this is another thing I hate that people do. The IWC, this is a small group of wrestling fans. I swear I hear people in like Mississippi chanting for this dude. This is in front of your face, some of it, and they just don't want to acknowledge it. That's where I get upset.
I hear you.
Danielson, we also saw what they were trying to do. They were trying to pull him back. They were like, oh, no, you're going to face Sheamus again. You did the same match at 3 WrestleManias. You think people are going to be happy about it? 27 in the opener. Then you had that. No, totally different. Danielson was wanted by the people. They were cheering for him. Seth has not had people cheering for him in the Royal. Rey Mysterio got booed. I felt so bad, bro, that night. I was like, as soon as I heard, booyaka, booyaka, and the fans were like, this is trash. This guy,
I remember that.
This guy's a phony. I felt bad for Rey that night, man. McKinney said, I agree, Conrad, I don't understand the gimmick. All he has to say is I'm crazy like the Joker. All I'm asking for is a little more effort into what set him up. Seth could have been the guy. Cody could have been the guy. And honestly, at this point, Seth should more than Cody after they didn't let Cody win at Mania. Seth's thing is that he's got that he never lost to Roman. I think you can take advantage of that. Seth outperformed most. I'm just trying to catch people who I didn't. Yep. Seth is the modern-day version of NWA and Sting when they didn't want to make him the top guy while they had guys like Flair and Hogan.
Okay.
They wanted Sting, though.
I think Sting was intended to be the man eventually.
Rob said, does WrestleMania 31 count? I think not to him because he wasn't on the billing.
Nope, I disagree. Anytime you're standing there with the title above your head with fireworks going off and your music playing, you made a better.
No, I think though he doesn't feel that way.
Oh, okay.
That's why he wants the main event. Because he's like, oh, this was built off of Roman again. I think he wants to distance himself from Roman and them. Like, no, I'm the guy. I'm the one. Because that's what WWE wants. That's how they treat people.
What he should want is to beat Roman at WrestleMania. That's what he should want.
Right. People are saying the cash in. I like it. And then it comes down to, is this guy over or is it the theme over? Fandango, a perfect example of the latter. Ooh.
Hey, I'll admit it's the theme, but that's all part of the deal, man. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Seth Rollins lucked up in that way, but I'll never say he lucked up because he's too good of an athlete. He's too good of a performer.
Right. Well, that is the prize that'll be on the line at Night of Champions. We're going to get a new world champion. I hope that they actually deliver and give the fans what they want from this situation. We'll see what happens with it. We'll be covering it on here, so make sure you guys stick around. This Seth Rollins, AJ Styles stuff isn't over yet, so make sure you stick around with that.
Don't worry, the time will be unified in 2 years in the greatest match of all time.
Oh, and then you'll just have me on here laughing. Remember Conrad's laugh and saying, what a waste of time.
Yep, that's pretty much all it is. Because they're going to jack it up again.
Sean, in sad news today, our good friends at Vice Media have filed for bankruptcy. This is via IGN and the New York Times. Vice produced some great wrestling programs that I thoroughly enjoyed. I know some people didn't enjoy the Tales from the Territory as much, but Dark Side of the Ring, I think all of us have enjoyed. I was actually looking forward to their new lineup. What do you think? Vice gone.
Vice, I downloaded Vice simply because of the amazing content of Dark Side of the Ring and Tales of the Territory. I'm thoroughly surprised, not just sad, but surprised by this announcement, because I heard that from my research, I heard that Dark Side of the Ring was doing huge numbers.
Yeah, they kept bringing it back for a reason.
But I guess the problem is, my brother, and to everybody in the chat, we as wrestling fans tuned in for Dark Side of the Ring. We as wrestling fans tuned in for Tales of the Territories. Vice TV is a lot more than that. And I admit, I didn't look at Vice TV other than to check out those two shows. So perhaps they were lacking in other areas. What we shouldn't do, I'm not saying you're doing this, but just for future reference, what we should not do, ladies and gentlemen, is to associate Vice with pro wrestling. Vice is not a pro wrestling company. Vice is a network who put on 2 epic wrestling shows. But there's a lot more content on Vice, or there was a lot more content on Vice than that. And perhaps that didn't resonate with the fans, and maybe that's the reason it didn't work out.
I think they liked the pro wrestling audience because I don't know if you guys remember, they did have Dark Side of Football, Dark Side of Comedy. I actually heard the comedy ones were good.
They ran with it. Dark Side of Comedy was good. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were running that into the ground. But I still think the pro wrestling ones were really interesting. I loved learning like all the little details and different people and what they thought of what happened with Gino Hernandez. I was looking forward to the Marty Jannetty episode for this season because Marty Jannetty is a wild boy.
Yes, that was a really good show. Really good breakdown of his career.
Right before you had came in and we were having our pre-production meeting, Sean, I saw Marty Jannetty said he would love to coach at the PC with Shawn Michaels.
Wow, see?
I don't know if hiring Marty Jannetty is a risk. Do you want this dude down there and a story comes out about him though? I don't know. Let me see. Rob said Vice ain't gone yet, and this reportedly won't deter any of the day-to-day operations for now. That could all change tomorrow, though. Yeah, it's tough, man. They did this to facilitate the sale of the company. Hopefully someone buys it that'll be able to do something with it. I think they just had the wrong people running it. It sounded like a lot of, I don't want to say too much, but like it sounded like there was a lot of mismanagement behind the scenes a little bit with some of the stuff. So, the Simpsons doc they did last year was one of the best they've ever done, Rob said. See? So there were a lot of good things. I've been telling you to watch The Sacrament. That's what Derek's behind, I think. He's talking about Rollins right now. Dark Side. Hey, we ain't talking about that. We ain't going backwards. Tales from the Territory was dope. Dark Side of the Ring was dope. But if you're watching everything else, who's watching the channel then? That was delicious. That was delicious with Action Bronson was peak television. Yeah, he's actually a really good chef. Most people don't know that about Action Bronson. You ever seen him cook? Little aioli? Yeah, Action Bronson get down in the kitchen, bro. I'm telling you. Apparently, they are giving WoW wrestling on Wednesday at midnight this week. Joel's enjoying making you pop in the chat here.
Appreciate it, bro.
I guess this is where we can insert the Jungle Boy talk now. Jungle Boy was at a fan fest type of deal in the UK. And I don't have any pictures of this, or there's video evidence out there if you want to go into it. Some people were talking about his comments towards CM Punk and the thing. If you all remember, Jungle Boy liked a tweet that said what CM Punk did was assault backstage at AEW, and it's unforgivable, blah, 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 whatever. It was two people arguing, and Jungle Boy liked the tweet. I don't even care about the Punk stuff. He can say whatever he wants about that. My issue is what was said about Billy Gunn. And I feel like it's kind of disrespectful to do that on a stage like that. He could have answered it a little more diplomatically, I thought, than how he did. Jungle Boy basically said, yeah, Billy Gunn loses his mind, and I'm paraphrasing all of this here. Billy Gunn loses his mind when he sees us do Canadian destroyers in matches. What do you think, Sean? How do you feel about this new school, old school mentality right now?
I think he needs to keep his mouth shut. I think he's completely out of line. And you know that I'm the farthest thing from a CM Punk apologist, but Jungle Boy had no right.
This has nothing to do with Punk, in my opinion. I don't even care about that. The Punk thing is separate from this. Why are you talking to a coach like that?
Yeah, he's. I don't know. Like, I don't know if he's smelling himself, if he's feeling himself right now. You know what I'm saying? I knew you'd like that.
Jungle Man.
You know what I'm saying? Like, dude is just what a corny, unprofessional jerk he's turned out to be in this situation. I don't know how he comes back from this.
No, dude, it made me not like him.
Yeah.
And you know what? I believe what Billy Gunn's kid said about him was true too. I don't know if you remember that.
I don't.
Might have talked about it. Okay, so Billy Gunn's kids one night put out a tweet, and it was like, "Yeah, I wish we were on the pay-per-view or something." And Jungle Boy kind of was like, "Yeah, you know, if you work hard, you can get on there." And he was like, "Yeah, or if you stay out all night with like the boss and hang out with him and suck up to some other people who are in high positions backstage." They didn't like that. Jungle Boy didn't like that, and that tweet immediately had to get deleted. But you know, Twitter, they had the receipts. So allegedly, Jungle Boy stays out all night drinking with Tony Khan and sucking up the EVPs, according to the Gun Club. So I think that might have a part of the beef too.
I mean, nobody likes to suck up, and nobody likes to, you know, someone who kisses up to the boss, because now all of a sudden he's in the main event. It's like it makes you look tainted, bro.
To me,
it's kind of like marrying the boss's daughter.
So it's because I have the water bottle in my hand. Who's in the meeting?
I'm kind of mid-card for life. I'm kind of in Shawn Michaels' shadow. What can I do?
He would have been world champion, I believe, no matter what.
He would have been a world champion, not 14 times. Do not get me started.
You took the words right from my mouth. I always say that. I think Jungle Boy just came off really bad here, and it's like, okay, he's in the main event of this. I think Jungle Boy's gonna have to turn heel. I don't really appreciate the guy anymore. You know what I mean? I'm sure kids, like my son, like Luchasaurus and him as a tag team. Like he likes dinosaurs, so you know, I get it. But you just don't say stuff like that, man.
No, it's very inappropriate, and he should be really. And it's like, what gives him the temerity to say something like that? Like, I mean,
and do you think, and is someone going to reprimand him for doing that? You know what I mean?
That's where the unfair part comes in, because somebody probably will reprimand him when the backlash comes, and then he'll be like, well, you didn't reprimand so and so.
Well, and that's where we run into problems with our other situation that we're not going to get into, because if you would have took care of it in the beginning, you wouldn't have had the problem keep happening.
Yep.
A little aioli, y'all wilding in the chat. Jungle Fool, someone said, maybe those promos Darby made about Jungle Boy were shoots. Could be. Jungle Boy pulled that. See, she said it, not me. Adam Page, do we ever learn?
He pulled Adam Page with less talent.
Rob says he has EVP protection and the entitlement to do as he pleases without consequence. I think that could be the same. Eric Douglas came in saying he's still mad about Cody's situation. The Acclaim rapped about him getting dressed with the Bucks, didn't he? If you find it, BJ, send it to me because I don't remember that. They calling Yuta a little jungle douche is the poster boy for what OGs be saying about people not taking advice. Yeah. I don't know. I listen to people who've been around a while for the most part, because I'm like, they're there for a reason usually.
Exactly.
You got to see what the scene is too. Like when he said he takes advice from Luchasaurus, I was like, huh? That's who he goes to for advice? I'm like,
close yourself off to wisdom. You close yourself off from growth.
Say it again, Sean.
You know, when you close yourself off from wisdom, you close yourself off from growth. It's like, who are you to not accept and appreciate the knowledge and information from those that have come before you?
That is a fact. I like that phrase that you said right there too. We know now for sure that Jack Perry ain't winning the AEW championship at Double or Nothing. Let's be real, he wasn't going to anyway, but this now further proves that. Jungle Boy turns heel and goes back to Christian. LOL. Despite my best efforts, the intern has poor taste in wrestlers so far.
Right.
Leave him alone. Hubbard dropping gems. That is true.
Thank you, guy. I appreciate that.
Someone said Judas Devlin. That's Luchasaurus for those who don't know. Over Jerry Lynn, apparently. I don't get it. But speaking of things that we don't get, Sean, this is where I have to give Sean the flowers. All right? Sean, step up. Everybody clap it up for Sean right now. Sean sent me a message Wednesday, maybe it was Tuesday night, I don't remember. But he sent me a message and he said, Conrad, you know what's going to happen on Wednesday, don't you? I was like, no, I kind of see it going this way. I added a little to it, but we both agreed on this part happening.
Yeah.
Sean hit the nail on the head and was on the money. Perfectly. Look at, first off, how does anybody like Don Callis? He is the most booable person you could ever see.
Exactly.
Did you like him as Cyrus in ECW?
No.
Did you like him as the Jackal in
No.
WWE? Did you like him in the Truth Commission?
No.
You know what's the crazy part? Do you know what his original gimmick was supposed to be?
Unemployed guy.
Huh?
Unemployed guy.
No. He was going to be... Remember when Rick Martel went to WCW? And he was wrestling like Booker T and stuff for the TV title?
Yeah.
Rick Martel was supposed to come to the WWF with him and be his tag team partner. And they were going to be a tag team of supermodels. And Rick Martel would make his big return there, but Rick was like, Eric Bischoff offered me more money. I got to take it, kid.
Really?
So, yeah, that's how he got stuck in being a manager. He used to have long, flowy hair, though. Don Callis was living it up.
Wow.
And then he attached himself to our boy Kenny Omega, but Don turned on him in what was a brutal cage match. I had a lot of fun on this episode of Dynamite.
I can't lie.
But Don using the screwdriver to jam it into Kenny's head, what a heel turn. And apparently this Wednesday on Dynamite, we're going to find out why. But I have to get Sean. I'm going to let Sean gloat a little bit here. He can rub it in a little bit here to everybody. He did call it. I have to give him his props, to be fair.
I appreciate it, bro. I mean, I'm not gonna gloat too much because I do feel like the writing was kind of on the wall. When I go back into the annals of my mindset as the storyline progressed, I saw Don Callis for who he's always been, which is a horrible human being, right? From a storyline perspective. So as the Elite began to evolve into this more babyface kind of team, with the switcheroo of the Combat Club becoming more heelish, I said to myself, okay, well, we're still going to have people singing Wild Thing every time Jon Moxley comes out, even though they're doing what they're doing. You're still going to have people, cheering Cesaro when he does a swing. Everybody's still going to be saying yes when Daniel Bryan comes out. They needed something more to be more heelish. And the Elite needed to lose something to get more facious, even though that's not really a word. So at the end of the day, to me, the thing that made the most sense was, okay, Don Callis, who continues to be this thorn in Omega's side because of all the misunderstandings and all the miscalculations, what if they're not miscalculations? What if he's doing this stuff on purpose? And I just came to the realization, like, all these seeds of discontent that Don Callis is sowing between the Bucks and Omega with Hangman Page and etc. And the fact that, talk about over like Rover, the fact that the Elite are over like Rover, Don Callis doesn't fit in with that. To me, speaking of Rick Rude, that's a perfect example. It's like when Rick Rude and Kurt Hennig, God rest their souls, joined the Wolfpack in 98. They didn't fit. They were a face group, and these two guys are naturally heels, so it only made sense for them to go to the black and white. Don Callis joining the BCC or turning on, I'm assuming joining the BCC, made all the sense in the world. It's not a massive brainchild on my part. It was just doing some cognitive reasoning, that's all.
Yeah, I think with Don Callis, I've loved it since they started introducing it to where he was kind of like, Kenny, you should be singles instead of why are we doing trios matches still? And he just kept kind of putting it in his mind. Kenny's who he hitched the wagon to. He never hitched the wagon to the Bucks. He never was about them.
Never.
He was trying to wake them up to follow and pal along with Kenny. He's always been about what's Kenny doing and how can I help Kenny. So it's going to be interesting to see the explanation he gives on Dynamite. Dynamite, don't forget to check us out after AEW Dynamite. We'll be live on YouTube here on the Everything Pro Wrestling channel. Make sure you come in, show some love to myself and Derek.
Yes, sir.
10:05. Don Callis is the opposite of the real MVP. A lot of basketball teams feeling that one right now. With Callis turning on Omega, what happens now? Does Callis become an advocate for the BCC or maybe just Moxley? Where are you taking me?
I think you have to have Callis embrace the BCC. And I'm going to tell you why. Because you have so much likability in the BCC for a heel group. Like I said, you want to talk about music? Let's talk about music. Wild Thing, they're always going to sing along. Okay? They're always going to chant yes when Daniel Bryan comes out, or Bryan Danielson. They're always going to get crazy when Cesaro does the swing. You have to have somebody as disgusting from a storyline perspective as Don Callis be a part of that group in order for it to work. Chris Jericho, God bless him, there's nothing he could ever do to stop people from singing along with his music. But Jericho will go to the ends of the earth to make those fans boo him. That's what I think this move is about with Don Callis. Don Callis is officially turning the BCC heel. When all the people who are saying, are they really heel? They're not really heel. Oh, they're heel. They're not really. Oh, they're heel now. And Don Callis is the one who's going to make the difference.
Yeah, and Matt hit the point that I was telling you in the chat. Konosuke Takeshita, when we were having our back and forth about this, that's where I thought it was going. Takeshita will also turn and join the BCC. I think that's going to be, so they have 4. Don Callis and Konosuke make 5. So then who's on the elite side? You got Kenny, the Bucks, Hangman, and there's
one come back into the fold.
One other spot still open, and I think fans of New Japan know Kota Ibushi will reunite with Kenny Omega, and everyone will sing, everyone will be happy because they always deliver.
But don't ruin it at All In by doing a 5-man tag or.
I don't think this goes until then, though. I think this is like the Forbidden Door, Double or Nothing kind of feud. Sean, they've got lots of time for stuff.
This is true.
Ray says, I agree with Don. Can't wait until this story is over so Kenny can hopefully get into a singles feud. Yeah, well, hopefully. I think a lot of fans wanted that, too. Have you been feeling that way, too? Like, get Kenny out of this trio?
I agree. Let's just separate them and get them situated into a singles role.
Yeah, we know about Nick's tape.
We had a great year. Julius Randle has to go. And I want to go on record as saying Julius Randle, I respect him. I think he plays hard. I'm not dogging Julius Randle like some other Knick fans are. I'm a Knick fan. I just don't think he's
the guy.
The team. He's not that guy. You have to look in the mirror and see, or look at the team as a Knick fan, a true Knick fan like myself, and say, do we have a guy that this guy can lead us to a championship? And by the way, Jalen Brunson is not that guy either. Jalen Brunson is a co-star. Jalen Brunson's been amazing this year, but Jalen Brunson being the number one guy is not enough. Randall being the number one guy is not enough. But I'd rather keep Brunson, and I'm looking for a trade. And I'm hearing that it might be Karl Anthony Towns from Minnesota.
You never know. I could even see KD saying like "peace out" if you can build some pieces around.
I don't even want to think that. It gets me too excited, bro.
Because
I've even heard some Greek Freak rumors.
I feel bad that they fired the Phoenix Suns coach like he did something wrong. What did he do? You know,
we can tell you something else. After what happened in the Philadelphia 76ers, Doc Rivers might get fired too.
I just thought of the Doc Rivers meme with his face after you said that.
It's a cruel world, man. They get paid millions of dollars, but it's a cruel world.
Yeah, stack your bread up, always. Would love an Omega Miro feud. Actually, I would like that.
I'm kind of over Miro. He's been gone too long. That's what happens.
Oh, you don't think there's a? Well, they could rehab him though a little bit.
They could rehab. No question about that.
He got a nice reaction when they showed the calves. I'm not gonna front when they were like,
Yeah.
"Whose calves are these?"
Right.
So we'll see. You know what I thought would have really got him over? He goes into Tony's office, and when he comes out, you just see him dragging Tony Khan by his jacket, walking out like, "Yeah, you should have put me on the card. You could have did something like that." I thought. Bushi, Rob, if you ever say Chase Owens in here again, no, nobody is asking for Chase Owens.
Low key, I like Chase Owens though.
No, Chase Owens is all right, but I don't. Every time there's a Bullet Club mystery man or something, someone always says Chase Owens. Cut it out. We need Omega MJF feud. If they seem like they've been staying away from that too.
They have.
Derek, you know he's behind because he said that. Yeah. Can't wait for Omega to get back in as a singles wrestler. People are talking some NBA trade talk in here.
Yes, sir.
Rob did send me this, and this will be the last NBA thing we'll touch on real quick. He said maybe they just wanted more, was the last straw with me. I'm a Nick hater to the fullest, but y'all deserve a better attitude on your roster. Get him out of here.
Thank you. I agree. I'm a Nick fan. I will always say that I got love for Julius Randle, but he's not the guy.
Didn't someone else say something really like, why would you say that afterwards? I can't.
That was Julius Randle after Game 4.
No, someone else said it after him too. That really? Got eliminated. Oh, it was Embiid. Embiid, terrible attitude after he lost.
When he turned on his whole team. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, this is the MVP. Was it Tobias Harris or somebody who had like all those points?
Yeah, I don't think he named anybody. He just said that it can't just be me and James Harden against the other team, which is a diss to the whole team. That's a diss. That's a diss to Harris. That's a diss to Maxey. That's a diss to Tucker.
Yeah, and if I'm Harris, I would have been looking like, I know you ain't talking about me. I know there was some words said after that.
There better have been words. You're not going to talk crap about me like that.
Yo, there's a crazy diss record about Doc Rivers that sounds like Dave East rapping. What? You might have to send me that guy, Will Gamble. Black coach got to wait, shorter leash in these leagues. Yeah. Oh, yo, me and Rob were going through every number one team that fired their coach after they were number one. Like, crazy, ridiculous.
It's true.
Speaking of being number one,
nice
put a button in it. AEW and Warner Brothers Discovery. It sounds like we're getting some news on Wednesday, Sean.
It's about time. Like, why are they dragging this on and on and on?
Contracts. I mean, you can't change those.
Okay.
So they're finally up for renewal. Sounds like AEW is ready to strike, and a new deal has been reached. I have a rumor of the most current one. I was putting in overtime work with the pictures today for us. According to someone from Squared Circle. This is another random one, but this is a Dynamite study about it. Where is the Squared Circle one that I had up here? How dare I botch this?
Live TV, man.
We're live, pal. We're live. Hold on. I got it. I know who I sent it to. I think I sent this to BJ earlier, just because I know he likes that type of stuff. Here it is. Wade Keller, from Squared Circle once again. They're expected to be included in the new AEW WBD deal. So a new Saturday show, which will be called Collision, a content agreement with the rebranded Max streaming service, and $240 million per year in rights fees over the next 5 years. That's a lot of bread.
Yes, it is.
It's a lot of moolah. If that's true, that's pretty wild. Sean, do you see them going back to... Like, I think they keep pay-per-views because they've been selling well, right?
They have been. I mean, a streaming service, a streaming subscription would be better for the fans.
Thanks, BJ. Botchamania. I thought I was putting in extra work. Yeah, I don't know. Are you excited for this? Like,
no.
You're not excited for the content? Like, you can't really go back and watch the pay-per-views. You gotta... Huh?
I DVR the pay-per-views. They don't have a library that's big enough for me to be interested in something like that, bro.
Yeah, and that's one of the things why I was hoping they would pick up Ring of Honor, but it seems like if you're not taking it, Tony's going to hold on to it.
That would make it worthwhile. If they got the Ring of Honor library in there, and also, we don't know if the pay-per-views are going to be included in the subscription. Now, if the pay-per-views are included, then we're starting to cook with gas.
And it makes you wonder, too, how are the pay-per-view contents going to change? Is it going to be on Max? Is that how we're going to watch it? Or does Max not want live TV? I think these are things that we're going to find out on Wednesday at the Upfronts. The Upfronts are going to be in New York City, I believe at Madison Square Garden. Is that correct?
Yeah, they need to announce exactly how people can order all in, because that's been a big mystery this entire time.
I think that's going to play into this. I also know that it's to advertise yourselves to people who want to advertise to your audience. And you're showing them, well, this is what our network has. Check it out. This is what we're doing. Rumor has it Fox had some stuff to say this week. And guess what wasn't on their fall lineup? WWE. I had a good argument with someone this week saying that was a favor, but I don't want to get too political because, I have a crazy theory about it, which I believe is 100% true. And I said that I called that was happening. I'm like, Fox ain't taking that back. They did that as a favor, and now their favor machine is gone, and that favor's gone. Have a good day. Enjoy that meal. Matt Lopez says, do you think they'll have pay-per-views on both Bleacher and Max?
I think you don't need both.
Bleacher Report, honestly, if there was no AEW, would you have ever used it? I can tell you I would have never. HBO Max has live soccer on it. Well, if they're doing that, then yeah, you might as well combine all this into one.
Fun fact, HBO Max is the reason why I finally discovered after years, long time, way overdue, I discovered the show Friends because of HBO Max.
Is it your favorite streaming service? Honestly, like out of all of them?
No, it's not my favorite streaming service. It's good, I like it, but my favorite service will always be Hulu.
Hulu?
Yeah.
Hulu's got some good originals. What I don't like about Hulu is live TV, because I have Hulu Live. But when I watch, like, let's say we're both watching the Knicks game, I'm like a minute or two behind you. Like, you'll be like, oh, what a shot. And I'll be sitting there like,
what are you talking about?
And the steal from 2 minutes ago, and I don't understand. But if I go over to another app and then type my Hulu credentials in, it's up to speed. You let me down.
What am I talking about? My favorite, I'm being silly. My favorite streaming service is ESPN Plus.
Okay. Oh, because you got the package deal?
Yeah, the documentaries and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. So I don't know about y'all, but I'm usually out and about on Saturday night unless they're doing some to hit that 12 to 15 demo. That's going to be a high-rated show. I think they're going to run into a lot of problems with the Saturday show.
You think so?
I've already booked myself for 2 of them where I won't be around. I'm going to a concert for one of them.
DVR, people forget, DVR numbers count.
Oh, yeah, but I won't be watching live, though. And that's what matters to me the most sometimes. And that's a great way to get me to not watch a show. If I miss Rampage and then I wake up and I look on Twitter, I'm like, well, I'm not watching that. I know what happens now. Okay. I'm done. It just depends, though. Let me see here. Look at UFC, PFL. I agree, Conrad, that Saturday show is tough. You're competing against boxing, WWE pay-per-views, UFC pay-per-views. Yeah, it's gonna be rough, but maybe they
HBO Max 2 for that Tiger Woods documentary from a couple years ago.
Was it good?
Oh man, some behind the scenes about the affair and his career and a lot of stuff.
I might have to go back. HBO Max has a great movie selection, but I like Netflix for original shows. Netflix is all right. I heard they had a problem with that live recently, but Netflix is running out of shows for me to stay interested in.
Netflix has a selection that plays out real easy. It's like they'll drop a nice movie every once in a while, but you know who's actually starting to get is almost as good as Netflix? Prime. Prime just dropped the Michael Jordan movie the other day.
Yeah, Prime's been stepping up ever since they got the football, Thursday night football.
Exactly, that's another good point.
They're trying to be a player. And we also have some more AEW news. We're gonna wrap this up here soon.
This is a wild show. In a good way, wild show.
Yeah, just jumping all over the place. We still are dealing with the effects of the Elite and their whole situation with Mr. CM Punk. You've heard me and Sean discuss it. We have disagreed on how we've gotten there, what to do maybe a little bit. But we agree at the end of the day that if you're going to work together, it's time to work together and cut this out.
Yes.
But it sounds like a lot of people are being told you can't. Punk wanted to apologize. He can't apologize to them. Someone on their side wants to apologize to Punk, but they're told don't talk to Punk. And it makes me wonder, someone brought this up. For legal purposes, is anybody going to actually say sorry? Because sorry is an admission of guilt.
Sorry is an admission of guilt.
Yeah. So is your lawyer going to tell you to do something like that? Is that what's holding this up? Is it Ace Steel? He's the other person that we forgot about. Ace Steel, he's got that dog in him. He's got that dog in him. So what is he going to, how does he play into any of this?
I think all parties would probably come to the table with something along the lines of, I'm regretful about how the situation played out, and I'd like to move forward amicably.
Extend that hand, brother. Yeah. That's what means so much apparently in wrestling. So extend the hand and take care of it. Maybe Tony wants to facilitate it so that it's over once they are all in a room and they say it's done. But he's been meeting with
facilitator. So you have to have a backbone to be a facilitator.
But what's the holdup though to get these guys in the room? Like I don't understand.
I don't know either. There's somebody that's not for it, and if we find out that it's Punk, I'm gonna jump on you, bro. If Punk is the one holding up the negotiations, oh my God, I'm not saying it's him. I think my perspective about CM.
Don't worry, the headline tomorrow will be CM Punk wants to come back and wrestle someone. No, he doesn't. He wants to cause more drama by not.
Let me ask you a question. What if you? I've never been unfair to CM Punk. I said CM Punk was unprofessional, and the other guys were unprofessional. My question to you: what if if you ever found out that CM Punk is the one holding this thing up? What would you have to say?
Why?
Because he's being a jackass.
I mean, no. Well, he's not. If Tony was going to get rid of him, which he still could, right? Theoretically, if he has no leverage in this, he's going to sue them.
Okay.
And Punk will win because your executive vice. So imagine, Sean, you don't watch wrestling. Put your judge uniform on. Mm-hmm. Phillip Banks up there, and I'm like, you know what, Sean, my client was assaulted by two executive vice presidents that came into his personal domain. Here is Chicago law that shows you that you are not allowed to do that. How did this fight happen? My client felt threatened and he threw the first punch. Yes, because he was surrounded by a group of EVPs making threats to him after he spoke his mind. That's what the GG. No one's gonna believe that, especially in the state they live in. It's over. You're taking the L, and Tony's gonna end up paying way more money than he wants to for Punk, and he ain't trying to do that.
I feel you, bro.
Are you guys getting Sunday ticket? I am not paying for Sunday ticket.
Heck no.
Tubi, go down the rabbit hole. Tubi, I mess with Tubi when I'm really bored and I can't find something.
Exactly.
Motor Torque Wrestling Gargano versus Gunther is not happening. JD Madonna, because he is set getting a Judgment Day member. I can see him joining Judgment Day. JD McDonough. Can't they all just be friends?
Nope.
Yeah. Ace Steiner got to relax. They got to do the Brett HBK thing in the ring. Maybe that's the other thing. Maybe they've already talked, and this is part of the game.
It's cash.
Yeah. Eric Bischoff's going to get to slide again this week because I don't even want to give him the time of day. He said something else real dumb that I didn't like. Cut it out, Eric. He lost me, man. No 83 week sub, no nothing. Cut it out, bro.
He said stuff that gets people lost a lot of times.
Oh, how do you feel about Will Ospreay lobbying for a spot on the All-In card?
I love it. Will Ospreay is the best wrestler in the world, in my opinion.
No, well, apparently some of the AEW wrestlers don't like it. They said that he's not
kick rocks because we're trying to sell out 80,000 people.
I knew that was going to be your answer, and I feel the same way. Could you imagine Tony just sitting there listening to it? Yeah.
Okay, so we're not gonna shut up.
No. Tony would definitely be like, okay, so here's what we're gonna do.
Exactly.
And you could be on the pre-show battle royal. Appreciate you.
Please. Be a man.
I don't know who the person is who's complaining. CM Punk. So we've all wanted this match. I flash it. I think it should happen. I want it to happen. It should happen.
Wow, shameless plug.
It should happen. But I did see one that really interests me this week, though, that got brought up. CM Punk has been lobbying for a name he wants to work with. Samoa Joe.
Not in the main event. That's not main event caliber.
I don't think so. I think that would be a match on the card, but he's coming back in June. You got to find something to do until then.
I agree. I'm just saying should not be the main event of Wembley Stadium.
I am going to make a crazy lobby right now.
Okay.
Hold on. Matt Lopez just made one too. Maybe Don Callis found a new client in CM Punk. I don't know. I don't know if I go for that. Here's what I got right here, though, for you. Samoa Joe versus CM Punk in the first main event of AEW Collision. The night it debuts in Chicago, Punk and him, they're going to go at it again. Do you know the story in Ring of Honor of Punk and Joe?
Absolutely.
It's the same as Rollins and Reigns. CM Punk can never beat Samoa Joe. He's went to a time limit draw with Joe. Great match. One of my favorite Ring of Honor matches of all time. One of the reasons why I became a super CM Punk fan. And I love Samoa Joe too. One of my favorites at TNA. I think he got a raw deal there. I wish he would have left sooner, truthfully. Like, we could go on a rant about that another day. But I think you put them in the main event in CM Punk's hometown. CM Punk goes out there, and I'm going to advocate for Samoa Joe to choke out CM Punk in the main event of the first show, and you repeat disaster again for CM Punk. He can't beat this guy, and that's a future story you can come back to later. That's a breadcrumb trail.
There
come
you
back
go.
To it.
There you go. Look
come
at you
back to it.
Writing. Nice.
That's what I would do.
I like it. I like it a lot.
I really like the matchup that we've got for them. I think that if you can't, Sean, once again, if you can't do that match, whatever the reason, some way, somehow, I think that Omega and them are going to run out of feuds with people if they don't do this with Punk. Fans want this. They're clamoring for it. And like you said, I think for some people, nothing's going to be good enough until they get this match.
Not at all. Exactly.
You can't tease them with something like this. If they all work there, make it happen. Will Ospreay is going to Wembley. Do you believe that Punk is pushing for the program with Joe? Yes. If you guys peeped his Instagram story again, CM Punk, mastermind. Don't let this man fool you. He knows what he's doing.
He's definitely smart.
He had a workout video, and he had a shirt on. He said, what would Patrick Waugh do? Now, he's a big cocky guy, but did you notice the song in the background? It was Samoa Joe's first Ring of Honor theme. Peep the game, folks. He knows what he's doing.
If this was WWE, it'd be a good idea. You know what that means. But AEW might get it right.
We were so close to not having that said this episode.
Oh, please. Let's use it in some kind of way.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, there's a lot. Punk and Joe.
I'm walking here.
CM Punk and Joe, set it up. Don't do that at Double or Nothing. Punk and Joe at AEW Collision and have Punk win. No, you have Punk lose. Have to have him lose to Joe. Because that's the appeal of the feud. Joe should beat him most of the time.
Look in my eyes, what do you see?
I'm talking like, Sean, I'm talking like straight up choked out. Like,
I hear you.
Down the hand goes, none of that. I don't want no games. I don't even want come on, Punk, hold it up one time. And he does no, he's done. He goes in, done. One of my favorite Coquina Clutch setups is when Punk did it on a roll through. Joe, it was 1, 2, and everyone thought Punk had it 1. And you just see this hand grab the blonde hair of CM Punk, and he pulled him into the choke. Dude, hilarious. So good. If you've never seen that match, do it. Guy will gamble. I appreciate you, sir.
Hey,
he likes that idea. They're not doing the Elite and Punk and FTR. Why? Who would duck that match? Quack, quack. Quack, quack. Why would you duck that match? Why? It doesn't matter. It's 3 guarantees: death, taxes, and Punk can't beat Joe. Oh, hurts my soul, but it's true. It's true. I see Punk debuting his kill switch this fire. Ooh, I don't see that happening. I never liked that theme for him too much. I know why he had it, but I don't know. I think Cult of Personality is more epic. What do you agree with that?
Cult of Personality is iconic, absolutely.
Now listen, Me and Sean, we probably could run through some more content, but I'm gonna leave you guys at this for right now.
Yes, sir.
If you guys haven't already, in the description, Hubbard Wrestling Weekly's YouTube channel's in there. First, you're gonna like this video. Then, after we end this, go over to there and subscribe. And on May 25th, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, cut me off if I'm getting any of this wrong. You guys want to be over on his channel. He is going to be doing a black and gold retrospective. He's going to be talking about NXT, the good, the bad, and probably the ugly to where it's gotten to now. And it is going to be amazing. So make sure you guys are subscribed to Hubbard Wrestling Weekly. Be in there. If I'm around that day, I will definitely be in the chat. Shoot, if I'm around that day, I might even be on that video if I can get on it.
That's right. And make sure you guys pick up a What's the Vibe t-shirt available on Hubbard Wrestling Weekly. A little play on Stone Cold's old terminology, but instead of what, it's What's the Vibe. Make sure you pick up a shirt on TeePublic/Hub Wrestling Weekly.
That's also in the description for you guys. Sean, if you want to sell this any more than I can, take us out of here.
I don't think I can sell it any better than you can, man. I just want you guys to subscribe because I think I got some good content coming up. Obviously, the best thing I'm doing right now is with my brother right now, Conrad Cushman. But Hubbard Wrestling Weekly is doing its thing. The NXT retrospective, I've been doing a lot of research. I put up a little teaser on Twitter. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at Hub_wrestling. That's Hub with 2Bs _wrestling. Instagram is Hub with 2Bs Wrestling Weekly. So I'm looking forward to the 25th, man. We're gonna have a good time talking about NXT and the rise and fall and how I believe that NXT is a shell of its former self. I mean, we went from Undisputed Era having face-offs with Finn Balor and Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa to Braun Breaker. I don't know, man. It seems like how the mighty have fallen. We're going to talk about all that and more on May 25th. And we're looking forward also to next week because we're going to be leading into Impact Wrestling pay-per-view Under Siege. And we're going to have a code for one of you listeners, one of you viewers, to be able to watch the pay-per-view for free. Fight TV has afforded us the opportunity to give you guys a code to watch Under Siege by Impact Wrestling next weekend for free. So that means that next week on Clash of the Podcast, we are going to have a contest, and whoever is in the chat will be eligible to win a code to watch Under Siege Impact Wrestling pay-per-view for free, courtesy of Clash of the Podcast and Fight TV. So with that being said, he is my good friend, Conrad Cushman, and the host of Everything Pro Wrestling, co-host of Clash of the Podcast. I am the co-host of Clash of the Podcast and the founder CEO of Hubbard Wrestling Weekly. And this is your favorite destination on Monday nights. This is Clash of the Podcast. We'll see you next week. God bless, and remember, as always, evil never prevails.